Hey guys, today we're taking a look at my DD deck, or Different Dimension deck. This deck was requested by a few different people. Rocco Palermo, the Hunter 128, and Mr. Storm Guardian. They all requested this deck, so I thought I'd try it out. This is definitely very experimental. I'm still messing with it a lot. I have the general idea down about what I want to do with the build, but there's so much tech, there's so many things you could do. I'll talk about it in the side deck, but for now I'll just go over the cards that make my deck work. So the idea is basically, banishing cards all over the place and then using cards in addition that really benefit from that. So D.D Assailant, first off, decent stats and can banish monsters, pretty similar to most of the D.D cards. D.D Warrior, obviously a lot lower stats, but can also banish monsters. And D.D Warrior Lady, about in the middle with stats, but can also banish monsters. And then D.D Survivor, so a bit more of a beater. This one can summon itself when it gets banished, so that can be very, very nice. And then Caius, very powerful card overall, and because you're banishing cards on the field, just makes it that much better, letting you do what you need to do. And then Banisher, the Radiance, acts as a macro Cosmos or Dimensional Fissure, just allowing you to banish cards easily. The only problem is keeping this card up, but if you can keep it up, it'll start letting you do what you need to do very quickly. And then Evilswarm Thunderbird, just a really nice card for this deck, allowing it to banish itself very easily and then bring it back. Just works really well with how you're trying to make this deck work. And then Necroface just recently has become semi-limited, so definitely more potential to make combos with this card, allowing you to just have a super powerful monster very quickly after everything gets removed from play. So just, huge attack monster late in the game. And then Gren Maju, just another similar card that has a huge attack boost based on the cards that get banished. So some of the great power there comes from cards like this, but there's also a lot of other things we could do with this deck. So now for the spell cards, 2 MST, 2 Soul Absorption. So every time cards get removed from play, you get 500 life points. Starts to add up extremely quickly. Your opponent's going to have a lot of trouble getting through your life points once you have a card like this out. And even though you get banished and you'll end up using a lot of your cards, you can use Necroface to recycle things. It gets really, really annoying. And then Soul Release, extremely powerful in this deck, obviously, sending cards to the banish zone. Dimensional Fissure, one of the easy way we are sending monsters to the banish zone. Gold Sarcophogus, obviously it banishes something, but also very useful to get what we need. And Reinforcement of the Army, good to just search out those warriors because those are easy banishes for what we need to do. And then Allure of Darkness, we're running a good amount of dark, but even if we don't have it, it's not a big deal because we can dump things and hopefully banish them as well. So giving us some draw power and banishing and some other options. And then Dark Hole and 1 Different Dimension Reincarnation. Obviously we're going to be banishing a lot of things, so D.D.R makes a lot of sense. So for the traps, we're going to be running 3 D.D Dynamite, helping us with how the deck works. Turns it into more kind of a hybrid burn deck. Later in the game, this will do huge damage. If you can keep your monsters out and stall your opponent long enough, this card will just wreck them very, very quickly. So it can be very annoying for your opponent to deal with. And then 2-Dimensional Prison, very obvious in this deck why you'd run 2 of these. A great card overall, but obviously in this deck. 1 Bottomless, again, a banished card. Compulsory helping us out, and Macrocosmos, another card that's just really, really powerful in this deck, banishing everything we need. Obviously we're missing, some stable traps. You can run Solemn Warning, Torrential Tribute if you want. I'm very limited in the cards I can use in this deck to make it all work. You need a lot of spell and trap support, so it's definitely up to you whether you want to run more staples. So now for the extra deck, we're going to have a couple 3-stars just because we have the ability to get them out. Leviair, obviously, with banishing, and Zenmaines can be useful. We have a good amount of dark 4-stars, so Master Key Beetle, very good to protect our continuous cards because they're very important for making the deck work. We do have 2 Evilswarm Thunderbirds, so we can bring out Ophion or Bahamut if we need. Can be very powerful, obviously. Silent on our Arc, Exciton Knight, Blackship, Fairy King, because we have a lot of the 4-star D.D cards are Earth, so you can bring this guy out. Maestroke, Blackship, Diamond Wolf. We also have a lot of warriors, so Blade Armor Ninja and Excalibur can be very useful. So now for the side deck, I'm going to be talking about the huge amount of tech that you can use for this deck. There's so much tech. There's so many ways to build it. So I'm just, starting with this build, but as it goes on, as I play with it more, I'm definitely going to try out some of these other options. So D.D Crow is another way to banish things very quickly. Can be very useful. Wind Up Rabbit can also be a very powerful card in this deck, allowing you to keep gaining life points and stuff like that. Kaiko is another beater you can use that can be very helpful to trigger banishing quickly. Guardian Eatos, if you can keep the banishing up and keep your graveyard clean, you can get Eatos out pretty quickly, which can be powerful. Golden Homunculus, kind of like Gren Maju, so that can be another interesting one, but because it's a tribute, it's definitely up to you. Delg, another very interesting card that you can use to banish things, can be better than Caius in certain situations, so it's up to you. Tour Guide, you might wonder what the point of this is, but if you use Tour Guide, you can bring out this guy, Arrow Shark, which can do a huge amount of damage late in the game, so it's up to you. That's an interesting combo. Dimensional Alchemist, another card that can help you banish, which can be interesting. Blackluster Soldier, we are running a good amount of dark and some light, so I thought about it. Can be extremely powerful, so definitely debating it. In some ways it can run in the way of the deck, in some ways it can't. It's really up to you if you want to build chaos cards into the deck. If you're going to run more of those 6 stars, run 6-star XYZs like Photon Strike Bouncer. Pot of Duality, if you want more draw power. I think Pot of Duality could be really good in this deck, but I had to fit in so many cards that I didn't want to put this in, but this deck might benefit from some more draw power, and special summoning is limited, so it's not really a huge deal to run this. Chaos Zone, another interesting card that will allow you to make use of things that get banished. Dark Core can be an interesting one, obviously a -1, but allows you to banish, so that can be interesting. And Karma Cut, another similar thing, it's a -1, but allows you to banish, which can lead to some interesting plays. So again, there's a lot of tech that you can use for the deck, and I definitely want to experiment with a lot of those options, but currently going with my build and seeing how it goes. But if you guys have your own DD different dimension decks, you can post below, let me know in the comments. Maybe there's some cards I didn't think about. I'm sure there is. There's a ton of tech, as I said, so you can post below. Just tell me about those cards, and I'll think about adding them, and as I work on my deck and update it, that'll be really cool. But that's about it for me. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you later.